Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to PDINA, Royally Teachable Moments. Please remember, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I think you'll be happy you did because it's free. It's free. Okay, let's get into it. So first of all, I just want to talk about going on the Archwell Foundation website, and the one word that comes to mind with this couple, that this is what comes to mind when you look on their website. And I just want to just look at this article that Harry and Meghan had put in the Vanity Fair Magazine. Apparently, this couple thinks that their voices are of importance, that they require their voices to be heard. Therefore, we have this article. So this is the article, the Vanity Fair article. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle release a statement about the acts of terrorism and brutality in Israel. Okay, first of all, why do we need to hear any statement that you put out? I think it is so superficial and it makes you seem very self-serving to put in this magazine, Vanity Fair, a statement. You are simply trying to serve yourself and your own interest off of the backs of real, horrible trauma and acts of malicious, just a lot of bad things happening. Just all over and around, bad. And you're trying to snip your little branding into something that is horrible. And I think you're self-serving off of the backs of what has happened in another country only shows you to be what we've always thought you to be. It validates the things that people say about you. Now, I'm going to go through this article and just give you some things to think about that I think have come to mind when I read this, and understanding fully who this couple is behind the scenes. Because a lot of Americans, the people that will read this article, won't really understand the behind the scenes of this couple because it matters. So this is the article. The couple's Archwell Foundation added that they support frontline organizations working to help all innocent victims. That is the title of this article. And then we've got a photo of them at the Queen's funeral. So this is the article. Let's just look at this. So on Wednesday, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they posted a statement responding to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas on the website for their foundation, Archwell. Their message came after King Charles III spoke out through a representative about the ongoing conflict in Prince William and Kate Middleton's. They released a statement of their own. And this is the thing. Now with Harry and Meghan releasing a statement, it's like they're trying to say we are on the same level as you. We're ex-royals, but we have put out a statement as well, following behind the king and the senior working royals. Now they are royalty. They are representative of a country. Their statements matter because they are on the world stage as global, somewhat ambassadors to a country that has its hands somewhat involved in supporting those within this war. Harry and Meghan have nothing to do with it. They are like on the outside looking in a window that they have no business looking into, because they're no longer a part of it. They need to just turn around and look the other way. Why are they even putting in a statement? It's like, well, listen what we got to say. Shoot, we got to put out a statement. The king put out his statement. And Kate put out a statement. When Kate put out her statement, I got to put my statement out too. It's like, well, who you? Who you? Why are we listening to you? Why does your statement matter? Why do you think this is of importance to hear what you have to say? And it's almost like, well, listen to what we got to say. Bad things have happened. I want to put out a statement. I want people to hear my voice because I'm important. You ain't important. You have nothing to do with the atrocities and the horrible things that are happening in other countries. You have not put nothing into it. You could not even be within the monarchy as a working royal to be there on behalf of the people of that country. And now your voice has a meaning. Now your voice matters after you done just snub the people of a country saying, I don't want to work and be a part of this monarchy that has this whole meaning behind the people of that country and supporting the charities within it. Like, the superficialness of this woman is pure to me. It's like the audacity of you, woman, the audacity. The couple condemned the violence. They condemned the violence without naming any specific actor. They wanted to condemn it and just like, okay, we condemn it. Right, we condemn it in our magazine article. And used a picture of us when we were at the funeral and we were looking real sad. Really? Okay. So at the Archwell Foundation with Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex, we stand against all acts of terrorism and brutality. The note from a spokesperson read, this is what they're saying. We are supporting our partners and organizations on the front line. Okay, Otis, you're going to have to sit. I can't. Sit. We are supporting our partners and organizations on the front lines in Israel to provide the urgent aid needed and to help all innocent victims of this unconscionable level of human suffering. Okay, first of all, who are your partners that are on the front line and why have you not named them? If they are putting their lives on the line, if they are out there doing the work that we know you would never do, because you couldn't even go be in the royal family and support the royal family. Why are you not mentioning their names? Why? Yeah. And they go on to say that Harry and Meghan, they have, and this is an article that we know they had their hand in. No one was an independent writer reaching out to Archwell for a statement and asking, what do you think about this? Because really, essentially, their voices aren't important. Their voices don't matter in the big scheme of things. Their voices do not matter at all. And them trying to interject their voices on the backs of a PR publicity should be very disgusting to a lot of people. A lot of people should look at what they are doing on the backs of real human suffering and say, we don't want anything to do with this. We're not going to put out a statement. But I want to check Harry and Meghan. I want to check them and what they are doing. Because, see, their voices would mean something if they really had a hand in doing something that mattered. But they don't do anything that matter, so much so that they only want to do things that benefit themselves. There's no supporting of victims and the atrocities that happen around the world while they too are suffering or putting up with the not so great things of the world because they're on the front lines with the other people. No, they don't even want to be a part of the front lines. They don't want to even do any of the work that matters because we've seen them only put in a couple of hours a week when they even did their work that was somewhat meaningful. They didn't even put the time in then. So why are you trying to put in this article to support those on the front lines when you don't even have a history of even doing that at the most minimal level possible? Like, you don't even have the wherewithal to even say something about what has happened because your voice doesn't matter in anything. You are trying to get publicity off of real human suffering. That's what Harry and Meghan are all about. They are about doing the things that only benefit themselves. There's no suffrage. There's no emotional, I'll do away with so that others could have. No, they always want to arise above and beyond to get the best of everything. Thus, it doesn't matter. And that's what I think makes what they have done in terms of putting out this statement in the Vanity article so atrocious to me, really. First of all, so not even naming who the people are on the front lines. Okay, so then the article goes in to talk about Harry and Meghan. Meghan and Harry have a history of working with organizations who help refugees in the region. Where is that history? Where is it that they have actually done the work? There was some work done on behalf of the royal family, but since coming to America, they don't have a history of that. No, they don't. In December of 2021, Meghan and Harry supported Humanity Crew, a charity that supports refugee mental health, with a donation that allowed them to open mental health emergency rooms in Palestine, Israel, and Greece. First of all, what is a mental health emergency room? Your support went to open up a mental health emergency room. What is that? I know you can go to the emergency room to seek mental health support, but I've never heard of an actual emergency room that was called a mental health emergency room. Like, we only take the mental issues in this hospital. If you want to have that wound covered up, or if you want to have yourself treated for a physical injury, this is not the hospital, because we only handle the mental health problems. Like, seriously, I'm questioning that. What is that? Okay. And I mean, I would think for a mental health emergency room, you would just need some table and chairs, and some walls, maybe. Not even you may not even need that. So what are you helping with if it's okay? So in 2022, the Archwell Foundation Impact Report that they reported that their funding helped train 150 youth and 100 community members as mental health first responders and provided access to services for 3,000 children. This is their impact report that they have in this. You can click it, and then you can go through and you can see what their impact was. And then they have all these, these pictures of Harry and Meghan, and essentially what they're trying to do, which is why them even doing this in America, it's so cringy for me, because all they are doing is replicating what they were doing in the royal family in England. They're just replicating that on the substance of what? Of no history, of nothing that is meaningful to the people that are doing this work. These are self-serving people that want to build an empire to themselves. So their impact is serving who? The two individuals that were so selfish they couldn't even do it within the British monarchy. So that's the only reason why they serve anyone, is to support themselves, because there's no real wanting to help anybody but themselves. Once again, if Meghan really wanted to help anybody, for that matter, I think she would have done a lot more before she even got into the royal family. Oh yeah, she made a couple of trips to Africa when she knew she was going to try to get hooked up with the prince, to say, oh, I do work like you do, Prince Harry. We on the same platform. Because we know that was all staged. That was not something that she did just to do because. It's the history, it's the understanding of this woman's past to really understand where she is right now. And her past reflects what she's doing now. And if you don't know her past, you will be fooled by this. You will be fooled by what they try to put in these impact reports and to show all these things that they have done. Because at the end of the day, Not even their own families matter. You hear me? Their families don't matter. But the stranger on the street does. You better go somewhere. That's a lie. Okay? We're not falling for it. Statement comes just 2 days after the couple made a series of appearances in New York City to mark World Mental Health Day. As we know, they followed in the footsteps of Catherine and William, who did their thing on mental health awareness as well in Birmingham, in the United Kingdom. You know, there's always this wanting to be like the real people doing the real work. It's the fraudness of it all. You know, in this article, it quotes Meghan. It does not even quote Harry. It's all things that Meghan is trying to put into a pretty package with her prince, because she knows the prince and the title give her meaning. And so she's trying to build her brand off of all the things that happen in this world that she knows that she can get behind to make people think, oh, that Duchess, she's so nice. We just love her. You know, but the true meaning of what she is doing has never been there when it really mattered, when she married into the British monarchy, because that's where she should have her butt now. But she does not like the idea of being second fiddle to the future queen, Catherine. She doesn't like being the side chick, the one in the background. She wants the accolades for herself. Thus, I have my charity Archwell. And the fraudness of this woman and everything that she is doing, it needs to continually be called out by the people that know exactly what she is doing as well. What I find so bad and not good with this article in Vanity Fair is that, you know, they are essentially forcing themselves to be relevant in the midst of tragedy. That's the real problem here, is that they saw a problem that they could piggyback on and make themselves relevant amidst of all the tragedy that they see, as if their voices really count. And they don't. Because if your voices really mattered, if they really mattered, people would want to hear what you have to say. You wouldn't have to pay for it to be put into the Vanity Fair Magazine. People would come and ask you because you'd be off too busy doing the work. But because they don't do the work, because they're trying to build a brand, they put all of their time and energy into how they can make themselves look compassionate in a paid PR campaign. How is that the right thing? How is that a good thing? Why not mention who the partners are if they are doing the real work? Why not have a picture of your partners? Show the people on the front lines. Why are you putting your faces out there on a magazine article at a funeral as if compassion is within you? And we know it's not. And on their website, the one thing that they have, they say their hearts are heavy. Hearts are heavy. I say that if your heart is ever heavy when you see tragedy, wake up and see the tragedy that you have caused in your own lives before you tell us that your heart is heavy. Because as far as I'm concerned, your heart is heavy with hollowness because you don't have a compassionate bone in your body to think that we believe your heart is heavy when you can't even show common decency to your own families here on American soil.